Peninsula TV studio in San Carlos, SBC Pacific Bell, the San Mateo Credit Union, and Wells Fargo present the Bay Area's hottest game show, Peninsula Quiz Kids. And now, the best host on the West Coast, Brad Friedman.
Much. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome to Quiz Kids. Here we are at Game 4 of the Elite Eight. This will determine which is the final team to go into our Final Four, and then our finals. We're heading down to that final match where we are going to determine which of our teams gets to go to Europe, courtesy of our friends at ACIS. Over here we have three-time winners, the Menlo Atherton Bears. And here's the team that plans to unseat them, the Woodside Wildcats. So we're all excited to play. Let's play. Let's start with the collaboration round. Jessica and gentlemen, welcome back. I have here the questions for the collaboration round. In each set of this round, I ask a question of one team and then a question of the other. Each team will have about 10 seconds to collaborate. Your captain, Jim or Daniel, will give me the answer you think will score the points, which you will do if you give me the correct answer. If you don't give it to me, though, the other team will have some time to collaborate and a chance to steal those points. We'll go back and forth until we hear the buzzer signaling the end of the round. Everybody understands? Good luck. Let's go with the first question for M.A. Born in the British village of St. Mary Mead, she is a sweet old lady and an amateur detective in her spare time. Name this character in more than a dozen novels by Agatha Christie.
It's not Nancy Drew. Are you sure?
Anything?
Say Mrs. Hercule Poirot.
Miss Marple?
Yes, it is Miss Marple.
I got the Mrs. part.
As a teenager, a Mexico City bus accident left her with multiple broken bones. As an adult, she considered herself a painter of recognizable events and her husband to be the real surrealist. Name this artist, subject of a 2002 movie, and longtime wife of painter Diego Rivera.
Frida Kahlo.
Frida Kahlo, you've got it. Would you give me the first 7 words of the Declaration of Independence?
One in the course of human events? Yeah. One in the course of human events?
That's right. We don't ask it as a question. We say, when in the course of human events? You can now buy one on Amazon.com for less than $5,000. Only about half the price they were when Niles Crane rode one in an episode of Frasier. Identify this new one-man electric personal assisted mobility device that looks like an old push-style lawnmower.
The Segway.
The Segway is right for 10. Between 1204 and 1868, its annual fair was famous for its drunkenness and downright lawlessness. Name this section of Dublin, Ireland, whose name is still used today to describe a brawl or large-scale fight.
Melee.
Well, Scarborough? Fracas? I think Scarborough is a thing.
Melee?
No, that's a good guess. All of them were good guesses. You can steal.
Scuffle?
No, a Donnybrook.
Oh.
Next question goes to you. She won 46 consecutive matches as an amateur before turning pro on her 18th birthday. Name this women's tennis star who won 157 career tournaments in the 1970s and 1980s, and whose long-standing rival was Martina Navratilova.
She's American. I can't think of the other one. I know of Martina Navratilova.
Jim.
I forgot.
You can steal.
Chris Everett or Billie Jean King?
Pick one. Billie Jean King.
No, Chris Everett. Chris Everett. All right, well, let's go to the next question for M.A. It allowed states to sell 30,000 acres of public land per congressman and use the proceeds to start a college. What 1862 act of Congress was named for the Vermont legislator who thought it up?
That's the land grant one.
So Texas got their universities.
The
Daniel?
Weber Act?
No, I'm sorry, that's incorrect. You can steal.
Do you remember that, Brandon?
Jim?
The Pearson Land.
No, the Morrill Land Grant Act. Next question goes to you, though. Woodside, convert 35 billion to scientific notation.
3.5 times 10 to the
2.5 times 10 to the 10th. 3.5 times 10 to the 10th.
You got it, 10 points. Bears, what Korean village saw the signing of the 1953 armistice that halted Korean War hostilities?
Panmunjom?
That's right, Panmunjom, that's correct. According to the satire magazine The Onion, what 1980s Grammy-winning pop singer has finally made it to the border of Mexico so he can stop riding like the wind?
I have a guess. I'm gonna guess Jacko.
Jim?
Michael Jackson?
No. You can steal. They've asked me to sing it and I can't. I'm sorry.
That's a good guess, yeah.
Say Michael.
Michael Bolton.
No, Christopher Cross. Duke Sr., Celia, Orlando, and Rosalind are among the main characters of what Shakespearean comedy that takes place mostly in the Forest of Arden?
Are you sure? Midsummer Night's Dream?
No, I'm sorry, that's incorrect. It's yours to steal if you can tell us the answer.
Guess. What do you think?
Jim,
Into the Woods?
as you like it.
Oh.
Interesting guess. After the U.S. finally compromised with the British regarding their 54-40 or fight position, what line of parallel became the dividing line of the Oregon Territory?
34-30 or something like that? No, that's way too low. Which one? See. 42-30?
No, I'm sorry, that's incorrect. You can steal.
49, I think.
Okay.
49?
Yes, it is the 49th. You stole it. And that signals the end of the round. We show slight lead, Menlo Atherton 40 over Woodside's 30. I'd like to read a little something, a little clip from the March 13th issue of the Chronicle. If any individual can be said to have emerged as a star from Peninsula Quiz Kids, it would be Daniel Barkley.
Yeah.
Whatever. So, Star, have you gotten a lot of feedback from this article coming out?
No.
Nobody? I've gotten feedback.
Really?
Yes.
Could I see it?
No, it's been oral feedback, like, where are you? Why aren't you mentioned? Where's your name? But I am not bitter, because, you know, you have been like my, you know, you've been on for 4 years. So you've been a regular. You're the only other person besides me who's been on. If I'm like the West Coast Regis, you're like my Kathy Lee.
Is that a compliment?
Well, or more like my Kelly Ripa, but she hasn't been on for 4 years. So yeah, I like Kelly. So I meant it as a compliment. Have you enjoyed the 4 years?
Sure, yeah.
Sure, why not? Jessica, nobody on the team that's been with Daniel has ever been in his shadow because you've all carried your own weight. But what is it like working with Daniel?
It's actually really nice. He tends to answer a lot of questions.
Yes?
Takes a little of the pressure off us. We can play in a more supportive role.
Yes? Have you guys got a chance to talk outside of this, you know, at school, like talk about this experience or other experiences, share your dreams, your hopes, your visions?
No.
No. David Hestron, who sort of dresses like Daniel. I assume he's sort of like an idol for you in some ways. And I just wondered, you know, what is it? I mean, it says in here that, you know, it's sort of been, he's been kind of one of the idols at school. Do you and your friends talk about him? I see a lot of people out here, they've got big, some woman's written, Daniel Barkley makes my clay. I don't know what that means. Barkley makes my clay? What is it? What do you guys do?
What do we
Do you have like a Daniel fan club? Do you?
No, no.
Yes, you do.
We do.
Jessica, David, you guys are jealous of Daniel.
Yeah, that's...
But I know someone who isn't. It's your mighty coach, Mr. Greg Whitna. Because it's from Mr. Whitna that you all get the steam to be winners every single time. But I know some people that do not want you to win this time. And they've been biting their nails and studying very hard. The Woodside Wildcats. Jim Garifo, you've been playing for 3 years.
Yes.
And I just want to point out that you were just voted the man most likely to succeed in your senior class. Congratulations.
That's correct.
Do you have a vision of what that life looks like with you succeeding?
Well, I'll engineer some sort of thing. I don't know.
Resemble Daniel in any way? Because I know you've watched him and you've brought it. You know, he's been your nemesis.
I think we're headed in different directions.
Headed in different directions. Well, but both of you are very, very bright. So
yes.
And you'll both be up here in a minute to share that. Yes. And both modest. Absolutely. Thomas.
Yeah.
Thomas Musawa. Let's talk about badminton.
All right.
That's a segue like I've never had before.
Well, okay. We played MA's team, and I think it was pretty close, but I found out recently that overall they beat us, but I thought we put up a good match.
Was Daniel on that team?
No, he wasn't. I was looking for all three of you guys, but...
And they were not. They were studying.
Yeah.
You were not voted most likely to anything.
No.
Why is that? You seem very, very prone for success.
I don't know. I can't explain it.
Okay. You're still working on the paper?
Yeah, me and Brandon are both still working on the paper.
With that kind of grammar, I want to ask you. Me and Brandon are working on the paper.
Brandon and I don't know.
Yeah, Brandon, I don't know.
I'm a graphics guy.
You're the graphics guy, right?
I handle sports.
Brandon Wiebe, you handle sports. Do your sports articles have good grammar, or?
They tend to sometimes, yes.
You are about to participate in your Eagle Scout project.
Yeah, this morning actually I started working on it, and through the next month or so I will be working on my Eagle Scout project, and this is the final project until I get my Eagle Scout rank. So
can you describe what the project is?
Over at Edgewood Park, we're actually taking down a retaining wall and rebuilding one there because the hill is sort of overflowing on it.
Did you know that Daniel was an Eagle Scout?
I could imagine that he was.
He was. He was. And we've been through 4 years, and the Eagle Scouts was part of it. So I just want to know that everybody here has been touched by Daniel, but they could have still mentioned my name in the article. And mine. Let's give a big hand to your coach, Mr. David Riley. What it is Mark Simon, the mighty columnist who wrote this article, who's a good friend, is also my understudy, and I think he was just trying to get me really upset so he could come on the air. Let's give a big hand to our judge, the mighty man who keeps us honest, Mr. Frank Saboti. All right, enough laughter and tears. We're going to come back and play the second round after we watch this video about MA.
Atherton High School is centered in the heart of Silicon Valley. Amid this economically prosperous region is a high school that transcends all economic, cultural, and racial barriers. With nearly 2,000 students encompassing over 100 nationalities, MA is one of the most diverse student bodies in the entire United States. However, the beauty of MA lies in the wealth of opportunities it provides. Students are encouraged to participate in the arts, such as music, where we have one of the most renowned jazz bands in the Bay Area. MA offers a plethora of athletic opportunities, and the school has achieved great success in sports through the years. Students have a tremendous amount of school spirit, which presents itself at sporting events, pep rallies, and the annual Spirit Week parade. Menlo Atherton is most importantly a center for intellectual learning in an environment that promotes excellence in education. Menlo Atherton High School is a California distinguished school, and in so many areas established itself as an outstanding public high school.
Thank you. Welcome back. Well, here we go. It's time to play the face-off round. Well, if you've watched us before, you know that Daniel knows almost everything there is to know about geography, and you've probably also been amazed every time I give a math equation to Jim, he sits there and he figures it out. So we're going to see how well they do. with these 10-point questions. I'll ask you the questions. If you give me the right answer, you score the points. If not, just relax. Don't worry about it. We'll keep going until the buzzer signals the end of the round. Good luck to both you gentlemen. Daniel, here's your first question. The Wabash River forms part of the southern border between what two Midwestern states?
Illinois and Indiana.
Yes, sir, that's right. Jim, your friend's earring has two concentric circles on it, one with a radius of 3 inches and the other with radius 2 inches. What is the area inside the larger circle that is not contained in the smaller one?
5 pi.
Yes, you got it. What thin northern branch of the Red Sea separates Egypt from Saudi Arabia?
Gulf of Aqaba.
Yes, the Gulf of Aqaba. To write the fraction 1/3 as a repeating decimal, write 0.3 and put a bar over the 3 to indicate that the 3 is repeating. What is the mathematical term for the bar that goes over the 3?
Ellipsis bar?
No, it's the vinculum. It belonged to Germany until after World War II, when Stalin took it over and turned it into a military installation. Name the city 200 miles from the Russian mainland, bordered by Poland and Lithuania, and famous in mathematics for its 7 bridges.
Kaliningrad.
Yes, Kaliningrad is right. What 3-letter word is used in math to mean if and only if?
IFF.
Yes, sir, that's right. U.S. Highway 81 through Oklahoma now follows much of what it was in the late 1860s, when more than 1 million cattle used it. What trail from San Antonio, Texas to Abilene, Kansas took the last name of a cattle trader whose first name was Jesse?
Chisholm Trail.
Yeah, the Chisholm Trail. What is 20% of 370?
74.
Yes, you got it. And we're at the end of that round. Menlo Atherton's at 80. Right behind him with 60 points is Woodside. Well played, gentlemen. All right, it'll only take one question in the next round for them to catch up. We may see a tiebreaker. We'll see what happens. First, let's tune in and watch this video about Woodside High School.
The Woodside High School community reflects the cultural and socioeconomic makeup of California. The Mid-Peninsula is an area of great economic diversity, containing some of the most affluent and most economically deprived communities in the state. Just north of Silicon Valley and Stanford University, Woodside High School is greatly influenced by the rapidly evolving business and cultural interests of the region. Woodside High School is situated on the border of Woodside and Redwood City at the intersection of Woodside Road and Alameda de las Pulgas. The 34-acre campus currently houses over 80 classrooms, including 5 computer labs, state-of-the-art chemistry lab, and fine arts studios. The athletic facilities include a swimming pool, gymnasium, baseball and softball fields, 2 soccer fields, and 8 newly resurfaced tennis courts. The entire staff of Woodside High School is committed, dedicated, and professional. Our faculty, administration, and classified employees are actively involved in improving the quality of education for all students. Over 40% of our faculty have master's degrees or higher.
Okay, here we go. It's time to play the lightning round. Put your hands on the buzzers, please. I have a series of 20-point questions, which I will ask. The first person to buzz in gets the first chance to answer for their team. You'll score the points if you get the correct answer. If not, the other team will have a chance to collaborate and steal those points. If you buzz in before I complete the question, I will stop asking, and you will answer with the information you have received. If you do not get the correct answer, I will repeat or finish the question for the other team. Everybody understands? Good luck to both teams. Here's the first question. What TV journalist's ongoing battle with neighbors over the size of their Washington, D.C. area mansions could actually make a full episode of his show, Nightline? Yes, Daniel?
Ted Koppel.
Yes, Ted Koppel is right. What John Steinbeck novel with Charles and Adam Trask retells the story of Cain and Abel? Yes, Daniel.
East of Eden?
Yes, that's right. Visualize this. A woman in a red dress sips coffee near two men wearing hats, all being waited on by the same busboy at Phillies in a classic painting. Yes, David?
Hopper?
Yes. Do I need more information? Okay, Edward Hopper is right. What weather phenomenon does the EPA say is caused mostly by sulfur dioxide that reacts? Yes, Thomas?
Acid rain.
Yes, sir, acid rain. Name either of the two National League Baseball players ever to have hit 400 for a season. Yes, Jessica?
Ted Williams.
No, I'm sorry, that's incorrect. Can you name one of them?
Could Ty Cobb have done it?
Jim?
I'm going with Ty Cobb.
No, Hornsby or Terry. The company called Highway Radio broadcasts its radio stations all along the only along the major highways like Interstate 15 that lead to what major Nevada city? Yes, Jim?
Las Vegas.
Yes, sir, Las Vegas. In economics, what concept can be defined as the percentage difference between the rise in nominal gross domestic product and the rise, yes, Jim?
Inflation.
Yes, inflation. A 2002 book that recommends more American children study Greek and Latin in school is named for what mountain considered the home of the Muses by the Romans? Yes, Daniel?
Parnassus?
Yes, Mount Parnassus. At the website topsecretrecipes.com, you can learn to make the home-style meatloaf sold at what chain, which has an East Coast character and is now owned by McDonald's? Yes, Thomas?
Boston Market.
Yes, Boston Market, that's right. What gypsy dancer is temporarily saved by the Hunchback of Notre Dame? Yes, Jim?
Esmeralda.
Esmeralda. In math, what is the term for a triangle with one angle greater than 90 degrees? Daniel?
Obtuse triangle?
Yes, an obtuse triangle is right. Its verses tell of Katie Casey and Nellie Kelly, but no one ever sings them at 3Com Park. Instead, they sing the chorus of what tune? Usually, yes, David?
Take Me Out to the Ball Game?
That's right. In what 1940 film did Charlie Chaplin play Adenoid Hinkle? Yes, Daniel?
The Great Dictator?
Yes, The Great Dictator. What opera scheduled for a London premiere later this year is named for a notorious American talk show host and former mayor of Cincinnati? Yes,
Jerry
Jessica?
Springer.
That's right, Jerry Springer. What popular rock band called the Grateful Dead of its generation played a sold-out concert at Madison Square Garden last New Year's Eve? David?
Fish?
Yes, that's right, Fish. In cooking, it is a small amount of an added ingredient like a salt or pepper. In punctuation, it designates, yes, David, a dash, that's right. What biome contains a deep layer of soil that never thaws in the summer? Yes, David. Say?
Tundra.
Tundra, that's right. What city will get a new NBA franchise in 2004, 2 years after it lost the first one it had to New Orleans? Yes, Jim?
Charlotte.
Charlotte, North Carolina, that's right. What period of medieval art and architecture lasted from about 1050 to 12? Yes.
Gothic?
I'm sorry?
Gothic?
No, I'm sorry, that's not right. It lasted from 1050 to 1200 and immediately preceded the Gothic period.
Romantic?
No, it's the Romanesque. Arches, Capitol Reef, and Canyonlands are among the national... Yes, Daniel?
Utah?
Yes, that's right. A 6-foot statue of it now graces tourist destinations all over Rhode Island in honor of its 50th anniversary. Name this classic Spud toy made by Hasbro. Yes, Jim?
Potato Head.
Mr. Potato Head, that's right. In any given mathematical region, what is the minimum number of colors needed to make sure that Yes, Daniel?
4?
Yes, that's right. A Florida goat recently born with a birthmark shaped like the number 3 is often photographed by auto racing fans to remind them of what?
Dale Earnhardt.
That's right, Dale Earnhardt. The mausoleum of the Chinese Emperor Qin contains hundreds of warriors made out of what type of heart? Yes, Thomas?
Oh, shoot. Terracotta?
Terracotta is right. Thank you for not swearing. Give the term for the research technique where neither the person giving... Yes, Jessica?
Double blind.
That's right. He can't believe that this best of all possible worlds is still so nasty. What Voltaire title character marries his girlfriend Cunegonde?
Indeed.
That's right. Jeeves was the reliable butler of what young and clueless P.G. Wodehouse character? Nope. You can steal.
Anything?
What was the other's name?
Jeeves. Wooster.
Yes, Bertie Wooster is right. Quarks, leptons, protons, and neutrons are all examples of what class of particles named for an Italian... Yes, Jessica?
Neutrinos?
I'm sorry?
Neutrinos?
No. An Italian physicist was the person named, the class of particles was named after. You have a minute to go.
Fermi. Enrico Fermi?
That's who it was, but they're Fermions, and that's what we're looking for. Alex Rodriguez won 2/3 of baseball's American League Triple Crown in 2002. What Boston slugger won the third category with a .349 batting average? Yes, Jim?
Nomar Garcia Parra?
That's not right. You can steal.
Bill Bradley. Anyone who plays for Boston.
Manny Ramirez. It expressed its composer's love for Irish actress Harriet Smithson. What five-part piece by Hector Berlioz ends with a section called Dream of a Witch's Sabbath? Jim?
Last question for Woodside High.
Question? Answer?
Pass.
Symphonie Fantastique. Next question.
Oh.
Yeah. As a child, this Frenchman could dive to the bottom of a lake. As an adult...
Jacques Cousteau?
That's right, Jim. And we look at the scores. It's Menlo Atherton going to the Final Four. Well, you made it to the Elite Eight, and you always come very far. So congratulations. You should feel very proud of the work you've done. Thank you, gentlemen. We'll see you all in a future match against one of the other three teams competing for that wonderful trip to Europe, courtesy of our friends at ACIS. I can't wait, and I hope you can either, so come and join us soon. Meanwhile, goodbye.
This year's champions will be winging their way to Europe for an all-expenses-paid adventure to some of the world's most historic sites, courtesy of ACIS. We wish to thank the Chronicle for their continued support of Peninsula Quiz Kids. Mr. Friedman's wardrobe provided courtesy of Sartori of San Carlos. The producers of Peninsula Quiz Kids wish to thank the following: Molly Stone's Markets, Scottish Rite of Freemasonry of Burlingame, Target, The Tea Party, Jamba Juice, Klutz Publishing, Century Theaters, Silver Terrace Nursery, AEIS, Ronald Bland, Samtrans, and the San Mateo County Office of Education. Education.